Hey you guys, so for our week 2 discussion, we have to discuss the question, what is the blue wall of silence and why does it exist? First of all, it took me by a loop because I love criminal shows, I love cop shows, I love stuff dealing with, investigations and stuff like that. And I never heard of this term broken down. So I did like Mr. Bautista did, and sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but I did like he did and Googled it, and basically it's a cover up for cops. That's my understanding of that. It's a cover up for cops. It deals with corruption, misconduct. It basically lets cops get away with certain stuff that is really unconstitutional. Just like our paper we have to write for our week 2 opinion 1 on Mr. Frank, it involves a lot of corruption from a lot of precincts, and that's what it is. It's basically getting away with certain issues or certain crimes that come along, like if a cop shoots an unarmed guy, black, white, a Latino, doesn't matter, and they were unarmed, another cop could say, hey, well, I seen him or I seen her have a gun, and they felt like their life was in danger, so they could use the blue wall of silence to actually protect their coworker. It's crazy how it's everyday life, involves with this quote, this code, really. It's a code for cops. And why does it exist? Why? I don't know why it exists, because it's not fair, to a lot of people, to a lot of law enforcement who don't believe in it, still have that option to be misled into using this code, because you have cops out there that don't believe in it, you have cops that do believe in it, and the main reason why I think that it exists is because of the loyalty within the precincts. Because a lot of cops, they can say, well, if you don't take up for me, or if you don't say what I say, I'm going to, have your job, or the chief is not going to believe you, or everything that you say is going to be a complaint that doesn't get heard. And to my understanding of the blue wall of silence, it's just covering up your misconduct. And a lot of people, a lot of law enforcement are scared of that, and they still do it because they're afraid that they'll lose their jobs, and that's how they provide for their families and provide for themselves, and make sure that their career is good. But just like in our paper we have to write, that's what Mr. Frank dealt with, was corruption. He tried to move from this precinct to this precinct, but in the end it's just more and more corruption within the police departments. And it's another term is dirty cops. That could be used, as an example of the blue wall of silence, is dirty cops. You have cops out there selling, well, not selling drugs, but getting cuts from drug dealers, or getting cuts from people that do prostitution. It's just stuff like that, so their name is in good graces. And I don't think that it should exist, but I think that's why it does exist, is so that they can get away with certain stuff and keep their job, while you have citizens out here scared for their lives. And it's just mainly loyalty. You want to be loyal to anybody who wants to be loyal to their job, their co-workers, their bosses. But it's always a right and a wrong way to do it. But it's so much corruption in the world, not just alone with the police department. And I just feel like, it's never going to stop. Corruption is corruption. This world's been corrupted for years, so a police department doesn't make it any better when they're here to protect and serve us as citizens. That's my opinion, and that's my discussion part of what I think basically what I think the blue wall of silence is. And another thing is also with the blue wall of silence, you don't have to do what others say to make yourself look good, but you do it to make others look good. And I don't think that's fair, because when you don't want to do something, you shouldn't have to be provoked to do it. That's just what I think. And hopefully we'll learn more of the blue wall of silence, because this is a learning process. And like I said, I never heard of the term being broken down. And when I looked into it, it's basically a code, a blue shield for police officers to use to do whatever they want to do. And it still goes on in this world today. My uncle is also a cop, and I had asked him, do he believe in that? And he said that he don't believe in it, but it's actually used in certain situations in his force. And to me, that is just not right. It shouldn't exist, but this is the world. A lot of things exist that should not exist. But that's my opinion, and I'll talk to you guys next time.